part in the same process either to say, look, we just got this proposal for one that's like less than a mile away, and it's really huge, and here's another one. So we're concerned about not looking at the overall cumulative impact of these farms, especially if they're going to be so close to each other. And now I'm going to turn it over to Kale to talk about promotional impacts.
One of the biggest problems.
Mr. President, thank you for being here today.
One of, let me give you a little bit of background of the Gumapac Council of Kale. And the Gumapac Council initially got together because we needed to protect the resources from Gumapac. Okay, because, again, in order for us to wait for when the restoration of the Pine Kingdom comes or not, we still have got to protect the resources. And the resources are being abused, utilized, taken away, wiped out as quickly as we can try to get it restored. And so the only thing that we can do to protect the resources is to use this law. Under the state constitution, this is what it says. This is constitutional law under the state now that says, the state reaffirms and shall protect all rights customarily and traditionally exercised for subsistence, culture, religious purposes and possessed by Ahupua'a tenants, who are descendants of Native Hawaiian peoples who inhabited the Hawaiian Islands prior to 1778. This is in the state constitution today. This isn't something that we made up as Hawaiians to try to protect our resources. Okay?
Can you put that in layman's terms?
Basically what this does is that this protects our cultural rights to gather. Our cultural rights to be able to gather for subsistence. Our cultural rights to protect our religion. Okay? This is basically what it says. So, with that, we got together and we said, let's use this constitutional law in order to be able to protect the resources so that we can have it for tomorrow. And so that we can have it for the next day and the next day. And this is what we did. When it comes to the Hawaiian fish ponds, that these Hawaiian farms commonly refer to as, well, they're sticking to our cultural practices. Having a Hawaiian fish pond versus a big huge net in the middle of the ocean, it's not the same. Because if you understand a Hawaiian fish pond technology that our kupuna, our ancestors put together, it was so awesome. Because it was an ecosystem built within itself. Now that was sustainability. Because they had fish that they put into the fish ponds. They made sure that the fish pond was close to an aquifer that fed it with fresh water, because they knew that the fresh water that would be seeping into the pond would create this limu. And when it created this limu, it would be good food for a fish. So the fish would go and eat this limu. Okay. Then when the fish doodle in the ponds, it would create another type of limu that would grow. So that's not what the fish eat. So our kupuna put turtles in the pond, because the turtles would eat that limu. And when the turtles eat that limu, the doodle that the turtles made would grow the kind of limu that the fish wanted to eat. Okay, then they would say, okay, in order to prevent, we had, back in ancient times, we had guys that went to the fish ponds and would hemo some fish because they wanted to eat, even though they knew that there was a high chief or konohiki that ran the fish ponds. So the keeper of the pond would put in kaku. You know what kaku is? What's kaku? Yeah. We put barracuda in the ponds. Then they would take guava branches, throw the guava branches into the pond so that why?
Cannot see where you're walking.
People could not throw net in the fish pond and take the fish. Because if they threw the net in the fish ponds, the net would get all tied up in the guava branches. And at the same time, those branches provided safe haven for all the poor, the small fish. They would be able to hide in them. Okay. You take that technology, does that apply to this cage over here? And these guys telling us, oh, it's just like our land in agriculture. And I'm going, not. And at the same time, these guys telling us, this is sustainable. Well, what do they mean by sustainability? See all these over here. That's what they call sustainable. But for us as sustainability is being able to take care of our water, to take care of the districts that we live in. Not to feed the rest of the world that these guys are talking about doing. Because 90% of what they grow in these fish cages doesn't stay here in Hawaii. How many of you went to the grocery store lately to go buy fish? Anybody? What was the cost of the fish?
Wapaka is about $10 a pound, $9.99 a pound.
Okay, they're not worried about Wapaka. How many of you was able to buy more?
$9.99 a pound in all fees.
$10 a pound.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about Kale?
Yeah, so.
You know, and before, $10 a pound, that's a lot of money to go buy
Maybe now.
one farm fish.
Maybe you know.
Okay, so what I'm saying, so if they say it's sustainable, and they want to sustain our community, then the fish should be $2, maybe $3 a pound, so that the families can take care of themselves, so that in sustainability, we're helping the communities to sustain themselves and to provide food. And at the same time, we're saying, we don't want to impact the environment because of all this heavy use. If any of you have ever taken a dive in these places, the pollution level is huge because they have hundreds of thousands of these huge fish about this size in these cages. The pollution levels are heavy. And so where is all that going? You say, well, you know, we're all in deep water already. So the water will take away all that method. Where's it going to go? Oh, we're in the ocean. Well, where's the current going to go? Is it going to come right back into the bay? And we think, yeah. Along with what's happening on the land pollution, combined going into the ocean, people coming out with what? Staph infection. Never happened before, but all of a sudden, people coming out with all these coquillos, all these sores coming out of the water. This is a combination. This is what's happening on this. And I'm not saying the fish cages are a sole responsibility of all of these coquillos that people coming out of all the problems, but it should help you to contribute to it. You know, my fish ponds, and my two men built my fish ponds. And my